Hello everyone and welcome to yet another playday in the Stylex Siege League. Today we have a good matchup for you, Team Plague versus MZP on Clubhouse. Obviously we've been through map bans and stuff beforehand and we have ended up on this map. Interesting to see how both these teams approach the map. We have a last meetup for these two teams on this map. It was a 7-1 victory for MZP on this exact map of Clubhouse. And in terms of the league standings as well, MZP have gone up to 5th place now with 16 points. Above Plague are in 6th place with 9 points. So it's going to be a somewhat more even match maybe at this stage than it was last time. However, MZP are very much challenging for those top 4 places, while Plague are very much challenging not to be relegated. We see a fairly usual set of bans that we normally see on Clubhouse. Normally you take away the Thatcher, obviously, very mainstay ban at this level of Siege, and also alongside one of the hard breach bans, which they've opted in to do, the Hibana. Obviously, we're going to see people struggle, maybe a little bit more to those hatches, but the new hard breaching gadget will probably mean that that's not as much of a struggle. Mirror goes away as well, also another main state ban. You usually see, especially on this map as well, Mirror is very strong on this map, and it's a good idea to take her away, especially for bomb sites like Gym and also the basement. There's a unique way to use her on the basement that not many teams do often opt into using, but Mirror is obviously just a good ban, especially for Gym, if they want to opt into that as a tertiary bomb site as well. We'll see Thunderbird taken off the board, sorry. Not necessarily a ban that we see all the time, but maybe they've got some ahead scouting that we do not hear. So that's a fairly unusual ban. That's going to leave stuff like the Valkyrie out as well for the defense to be able to use stuff like the Valkyrie, the Ormai, especially the Kaid as well. Kaid's actually a very big ban here that has not been... Well, it hasn't gone through. Kaid's going to be very strong here, especially with the Thatcher and the Hibana taken off of the board. That means that this defense side for MZP might actually sway more towards their favour than it usually... Oh, sorry, for Plague will sway more towards their favour than it usually would. And we're going to see them go towards CCTV as their first bomb site. Lex is just standing around on that Kaid, but I'm sure he'll be getting into the round soon to place all of his stuff. We're going to expect these Kaid claws. Either he's going to put both of them inside of garage, or he's going to use it inside of CCTV and on the construction wall. He has lost that one, unfortunately. It's probably a bit too high. However, it has covered the wall, and that's obviously one of the main places that the attacker actually going to be contesting to try and get any kind of foothold into this bomb site in the round. See some shields going out as well. I think the smoke's obviously a very popular operator to sit on the red stairs, and has been a mainstay in those kind of defences for a very long time. We're going to see if they truly decide to contest garage. There has been a small group that have decided not to contest garage anymore, but garage is obviously a very big part of the bomb site you do need to contest in order to have any kind of foothold in a defence that really does want to contest CCTV, because it's normally the case that CCTV does get opened alongside some of these lower garage walls, and in some cases construction as well, depending on how the attack really want to get through their attacking phase on this first round. We already see some utility coming out towards the bottom of garage, and we're going to see the Wamai with the Jaeger ADS and some Malusi Banshees as well being the main point of contention for garage. We're already here. Obviously the hard breach is going out towards the bottom of garage. A drone's coming up the stairs. Wamai is going to be the first person to see any kind of attack in this round and in this game. A minute off the clock. So some basic stuff done for the attack. Obviously, they're just trying to get a foothold on this eastern side of the map for the moment. There's absolutely there's nobody contesting any part of the western side of the map. And there's also smoke over on the western side of the map as well, which is something you don't usually see. You normally see them in red, obviously. And there's already 2 picks for the attack, however, on this eastern side. That's 2 of the people around garage and onto the bomb site itself. And the 2 people remaining are the 2 people on that western side of the map. If Plague did not get picked off there, then that would be really beneficial for him. It's a 2 versus 4, and Malusi's having to run around inside the bomb site, so they've really lost too much ground, with only half of the round having gone away. The smoke loses his life to the Finker LMG that is inside of garage after all of these picks, and it's all left down to the Malusi with 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock, sitting inside of red. Obviously a very strong position for him to be able to hold, but as soon as they get one little bit of information on his position, there's nothing that he can really do. He's going to go underneath. Does he have a nitro cell to be able to use? It's a bit too late now that the diffuser has gone down. He does manage to get the down inside of stock, and he does manage to find the kill there, and Ace is going to end up finishing the round for the attack, but that is a very convincing attack for MZP already in terms of picking off all the people on that eastern side of the map and inside the bomb site. A very good execute for them, and Plague, there are two people wandering around that western side of the map when that wasn't even being contested by the attack. Surely at that point in a minute into the round, you're going to call that there's nobody over there. Obviously, you should leave one person over there to kind of keep that side of the map under your control, but having a weak site presence, which has to be rotated back into, and then further picks from that is just not good for Plague, especially in their first round. They're going to retry the bomb site again. They're going to bring the Azami this time instead of the Wamai, likely to stop any holes in the barriers in garage. Maybe that was one of the weaknesses that Wamai felt. Shanga's going to be bringing that one at the moment, and I think we're going to see a fairly similar setup. What I want to see out of Plague is more operators from their side over towards the actual part of CC and also Cash, and essentially just actually truly contesting and defending, because I don't think we heard many shots back from the defenders. I think the attack were very convincing in terms of how they managed to take both Garage and also CC. So I'm hoping for obviously a better round and a better showing for Plague in this instance. Nice Kaid Claw. Well, if you can fit it in there, it'd be a nice Kaid Claw. Somewhat at the moment. There we go, he's finally done it. And that's going to be very effective, obviously. Getting the CC wall and keeping it closed. These Azami barriers are going to be blocking off Garage, so hopefully that does, for Plague, give them a better ability to be able to play around that area. And we might see, actually, for MZP this round, they might actually mix it up a little bit and go towards the west side, but already they're opening up Garage. They know that there's not much contention coming out at all. And Boxing needs both of his. The Nitro Cell does come out, however, and unfortunately that does not find its way onto the Buck. Very close, though. And Lex is actually going to find himself quite cut off here underneath, and he's going to be a sitting duck, essentially, for MZP at this rate, unless he can find a pick, and if the drone game is not good from the side of MZP. We haven't seen any semblance of that yet. We're going to see some drones. They're already on the bomb site itself, and they have obviously looked and seen that the Azami is in Garage, something you fairly expect. But do they know that Lex is actually down here? They could actually get caught out if they do not know he's there, and if that is the case. A minute gone, and the Malusi has actually been downed here, so it looks like CC is somewhat open. And all these Azami barriers are also going down, and he gets naded while he chucks another one out, and that is control inside of Garage, apart from the fact that Lex is still there. They had no idea, and he's still going to be sitting in there in a 4 versus 4. He's going to actually make his way back up in towards Garage now, holding a much stronger position, and he's going to shoot a drone on his way through there. We're going to see if he can truly contest this area. However, he does go down to the player in Garage. CC wall is also open now, and as the smoke and the Jaeger go back towards the bomb site, they have also got a lot more viewpoints to be pairing off. With 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the round, it's a 3 versus 4. Obviously a better situation for Plague right now, as they have actually got 3 members alive, but there are obviously some big advantages for the attack in the fact they have control of both Garage and CCTV, and they are also downstairs in stock with the Buck that Quain is actually trying to contest right now. He drops, and he does get a few shots towards the Buck, however he does not manage to finish him off, and the Buck does manage to actually leave here and actually turns around to find the kill. It's a 1 versus 4 now, and Eggy is the last remaining member on the Jaeger. A frag grenade goes out towards his position. He's trying to peek out towards red, but surely this is a lost round now. The diffuser has gone down. He's just at such a health disadvantage, and the Iana just jumps over the wall to get him off. And that is 2 rounds now, both on CCTV, on Clubhouse, that the defense have lost, and that is very astounding. I mean, you don't normally see, obviously, in terms of how Clubhouse is usually played out, and you wouldn't expect that as well with the Kaid being available. The fact that the Kaid is here is essentially just makes it ridiculous that they've managed to lose both these 2 rounds. He's so good on this map that the fact that even though they have him without the bans obviously being getting rid of him, and they lost both the rounds, it's obviously very unusual, let's say, for Plague, and hopefully they can, now they've switched up to Church and Arsenal, get back into this game. We did see, obviously, last time a 7-1 victory for MZP, and hopefully it's not going to go the same, although we're going to see a very quick map, a very quick and convincing map, but it is looking that way at the moment, because MZP, on these executes, they've just looked so much more convincing than the Plague defense. And we're going to see if that's also the case on Church and Arsenal. We saw not yesterday, on Monday, that Plague were doing something similar on Oregon, where they weren't as convincing on one of their bomb sites, but they knew what to do on the other bomb site that they also went to. So hopefully this is going to still be the case with Church and Arsenal. We're going to see the Castle come out as well. Castle, obviously a very good operator, one of the best operators in the game, clearly, and he's going to be obviously complementing the roam that they're going to be going for. They're going to be bringing the Aruni, and they're also going to be bringing the Malusi as well, trying to essentially just hold different parts of the map in their own way. A very positional approach, I'd say, to this kind of play, where obviously the castle is obviously providing all of these different places and all these different things that can help them contest. Lex again, he's essentially, we saw it again on Monday. He's playing these unusual positions. He's looking to catch out MZP. Obviously, you don't normally see anyone sitting inside the kitchen entrance. And he's going to try and be there. Look either for a late lurk, a late roam, or to try and catch out anybody who goes towards that part of the kitchen. And they normally do, the attack. They see that Thermite has got open the blue hatch. Eggy has actually found a kill here onto the Buck. Obviously, the Buck not necessarily the most impactful operator in attack of this style, but the fact that they've already found a pick is very, very good for Plague, and it looks like they're going to try and obviously turn around the fates at the moment. Blue has been lost by the defense, though, as the hatch has gone out and some frag grenades have gone towards that position. And we'll see if Malusi is actually able to hold it off all by herself alongside the Smoke, who is also on the bomb site. But the roam is still present, and Daruni is still inside of Garage. She might get cut off now, however, though. There are a bunch of players around her, and that is exactly the case. Iana managed to clean her up, and it's now a 4 versus 4. Identical, well, not identical, but very similar health for both sides as well. So it's a Trueville 4 versus 4 with a minute and 40 left on the clock. We'll see if Lex is impactful on his roam, and one kill does go down as well for Changa on to Flux, taking it down to a 4 versus 3. And Lex has also found, through that punch hole for the Aruni, a very impactful position which he can use to influence over bar. And Changa is already in that position. If he doesn't peek too aggressively, then he's really going to hold up and hinder the attack. However, that is not exactly the case, as Pew managed to find a kill inside of Arsenal. He's already inside of Blue, and the fact that they've given up Blue so early and not trying to recontest it is pretty bad. However, that is not the case. Malusi does manage to find a kill inside of Blue, and they have got viewpoints over towards it, so it's not the end of the world for MZP unless a rush does come through. Lex goes down on the bomb site, however, and Pew is into Arsenal. Changa and Kitsarino are both over towards the church side. However, Pew is inside of Arsenal, and they're going to have to try and recontest that. Sneaking in now is Changa. He doesn't manage to get through those holes at the bottom, but he's going to go through the middle. We'll see if he can actually get through. We hear the shotgun shells, so he might manage to get through, and he's going to try and contest Pew inside of Arsenal. Exchange shots right now, and another might be coming inside of Blue. They exchange more shots. It goes down to a 2 versus 1. As now MZP have just the Thermite left alive with 20 seconds remaining. He does find one kill. It's now down to the 1 versus 1. It's the Castle UMP versus the 556. The plant is going to start going down with 10 seconds remaining, and Castle's going to have to swing out wide to try and find the plant. The plant does go down, and can Thermite clutch up this 1 versus 2 inside of Arsenal? And it is exactly the case. He peeks out, and he finds the Castle on his way to try and find the diffuser. Very good round there for MZP in terms of clutching up later on in the round. It wasn't looking too convincing in that early part of the round. Some picks on the roam, and it just went from bad to worse for Plague on the bomb site, though. They lost Blue, and then MZP essentially showed us why Blue is such an important position, because you can use it to funnel yourselves into either of the bomb sites. They used it to funnel into Arsenal, and the lack of rotates through the main corridor wall showed us why they were able to get on towards that bomb site. Obviously, they didn't go too deep. I feel like they could have gone a lot deeper if they had some drones remaining, or felt like they had a good read on the fact that the castle had gone back to church. However, they did not know that. They knew that the castle was around barn. That's why Thermite stayed upstairs at that point. It was a very convincing, more convincing round from Plague in terms of showing us that they have got a read on this bomb site. So they have gone back to it. They're going to bring the Mozzie instead this time. I believe that is replacing the Aruni.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yes, it is. It's replacing the Aruni. So we're going to see some drone denial rather than utility, and obviously personal denial, I guess, right, through the Aruni. Obviously, the laser gates So that's going to complement the roam more. I think that you obviously have to make sure that obviously site is more than secure against any kind of rush. I don't think they would have been particularly phased by some kind of blue rush, but you always have to consider the possibility of a strat like that, especially at this level. So whilst the roam is obviously going to feature these three players of the Malusi, the Castle, and the Mozzie, the Kaid and the Smoke on site have to be able to contest this roam perfectly. Lex is again, he's not on the Kaid anymore, he's now on the Mozzie, so we're going to see whether that faster speed is going to complement his playstyle of being a little bit all over the place, I guess you could say, in terms of how he's looking to roam. He's not necessarily connecting up with other roamers, which can be a weakness against more structured and drone-heavy teams. But so far, that hasn't necessarily been the case for MZP. I think MZP are very execute-heavy in terms of how they succeed in their attacking rounds. We've seen that in these first 3 rounds, and we'll see if in round 4 that can be countered, as Shanga is going to find himself inside of strip. So it's again going to be a very disconnected roam. And we'll see whether that actually does go in the favour of Team Plague. As 30 seconds have now gone around. We see members of the attack coming down from the 2nd floor, looking to punch on the 1st floor. However, that is not the case. Lex, a very nice kill on those main stairs. He's going to get back towards the bomb site. So that is a pick that has already gone in the favour of Team Plague. That's something that happened on the last round as well with the Aruni. And we'll see whether MZP can come back from this. I think that Plague have definitely decided to be a bit more calm on this roam. Lex has already fallen back. He's going to use this nice long angle through the hatch to try and punish anybody inside of bedroom going through that wall, going through that door rather. And I think the rest of the members of Plague, apart from Changa, have all fallen back. Changa, by isolating himself inside of strip, obviously he hasn't got the strongest gun and strongest utility. It's very much a time-wasting roam, and now that half the round has gone, if they do actually if they do actually decide to go and try and chase him down, then that is going to waste much more of their round and leave a lot less fit for an execute. So the MZP really do need to be able to do, as they've shown in these past few rounds. We'll see if Shanga also finds a nice lurk, because they're not necessarily aware of the fact that he's over here. They are sending some members over towards this area. However, the Jackal that's currently looking through the hatch might not necessarily be aware that he's over here. So this late lurk, late roam, late flank will be very impactful, as a minute is now left on the clock. If he goes now, he could punish this Jackal, who's very much looking through this hatch. The Buck does find a kill onto the Malusi, and we'll see if the Castle can kill this Jackal. Yes, he can. And that's back to 3 versus 4. Very impactful hit. He can retake this control and hold this position down. He finds the kill onto this Thermite, which he indeed does with the UMP. And this is going to go even better for him. He does lose his life, but just an ace and a buck now against the Smoke, with all 3 of the smoke canisters left. And the Mozzie and Kaid, not the case though. It's down to a 2 versus 2. And Kitchen is actually being opened up a lot right now in terms of the soft and the hard breach. A gunfight between the Kaid and the Ace goes a bit wayward in terms of what's happening here, but the Kaid has managed to get his utility back onto the hatch. We'll see if that actually does open here with the Ace utility. But it's very much 10 seconds left, and the diffuser does still have to go down. Buck's going through main stairs. He does manage to find a kill, actually. It's all down to the Kaid. He looks away at exactly the wrong time, and he does lose his life. Absolute choke there at the end of the round. Buck just opens up the wall. He looks away at the wrong time. He looks towards the hatch, and the Kaid's just not in a strong position to be able to hold off any of those any of those attackers that are going towards the bomb site there. The diffuser would have been very hard to get down at that point, and they did have to go for kills. I feel like he should have maybe retreated towards either dirt or other parts of Arsenal. After that gunfight, he got pinned down in that area, and it was unfortunate he lost that gunfight. Actually, I think that Plague did deserve to win that round, especially with the roams by Changa. Changa played very well in that round, essentially being a very late roamer and lurker on that 1st floor. There's a reason that Plague was essentially as competitive as they were. And it's unfortunate they lose that gunfight, obviously, on the bomb site itself. And it's very unfortunate as well that it went down to a 1 versus 2, despite their early advantage. It again shows, however, that MZP do have a good idea of what they're doing. They did leave it a bit late, but the Buck going down main stairs, finding the 2 kills. Obviously a very solo play in that instance, but it did work out for them. As we see, a very similar style of defense coming out yet again for Team Plague. I don't think they're particularly looking forward to going to somewhere like Gym or maybe even Bar Stock. Obviously with the changes, that might be a more viable bomb site for them. But it's not looking to be the case, as they're going to play a very similar style of defense as to what they did bring in that previous round. They're going to obviously hope that their on-site anchors can pull more weight, more of their own weight, I guess, because obviously Eggy has only got 1 kill and no kills on the side of Young. See if those anchors can get themselves into the game now. Again, they're using the Kaid, and the Kaid did show its effectiveness in that last round, but it's just unfortunate they're losing their gunfights and they're losing their roamers. So, not necessarily early on, but they're not necessarily able to fall back and be as useful at the moment. Lex is going to play more of a usual roam, I guess. He's going to be falling back throughout the second floor, trying to deny as many drones as possible, trying to waste as much time with the attack as he physically can. It looks like he might have actually captured a drone there. He has to be careful as he gets down from the second floor. There is obviously a way that MZP can look to just constantly cut people off. If they go on the main stairs window, then they are going to be able to cut people off. Buck is actually going prone, going through the hatch. And they exchange gunfire with Lex, who does manage to get away, and that is very beneficial for Lex. Because whilst he is going to cut himself off inside of kitchen here, maybe look for some kind of nitro cell and then fall back, actually. He has managed to find a lot of damage and some utility from that attack. And that's only going to be further emphasised if they manage to get themselves back on towards that bomb site. Because there are 5 positions you can play on that bomb site with maximum efficiency. Changa finds yet another kill, and he's again over towards this strip side. He's just going to keep wasting time over here. He's allowed to continue to exist over here. And as the attack are very much more stunted now, it looks like Plague have actually managed to find a read on them at this point, because the attack are having to dedicate so many resources over here, and they're just losing men constantly. They do manage to finally find the kill, but a 1 versus 2 for Changa inside of Strip Club is very beneficial for them. And there is yet another roamer who's managed to find his way back up those main stairs. Kitsarino has managed to find himself back into this roam, and whilst he's going to exchange some gunfire with the thermite that's in towards toilets now, the round's just looking lost for MZP, and finally Plague will find their way back into this game in round 5. Gastron might actually decide to hide for these final 50 seconds, try and coordinate something, but no, that's not the case. Lex cleaning up here in this round. Lex very much a reason why Plague are actually playing so... Plague are actually like having some influence in these rounds. If it wasn't for Lex, I reckon this would be so much more of a one-sided bout in the side of MZP than it is already. Also, the scoreline's looking very one-sided in terms of 4-1, especially on the defense for Plague. And they're going to go back towards CCTV and Cash. It has not worked for them in the previous 2 times they went back to the bomb site. This will be the 3rd. Maybe they want to try that out tertiary bomb site, but that just is not the case. They're going to bring the same lineup that they brought on that second round with the Azami. The Azami was actually quite a good change, because obviously they did manage to hold on to Garage a little bit more, but they did eventually get frag grenaded. So that is obviously the weakness of not bringing the Mai in that position. You're very much playing to die, and Changa obviously being a very influential player on Plague, him and Lex being 2 of the main people essentially carrying them right now. Him playing that position, obviously a very influential position, it'll be good for him. Kitsarino is also having an effect. 5 and 4. Been playing quite well. He's been finding a couple kills here and there, but for the moment it's very much Eggy and the current smoke operator who are not necessarily influencing the round the most. We'll see whether they can obviously change that on the attack, which will be after this round 6. And we'll see what happens in this round as we see a Monty being brought here. Obviously very interesting. Maybe they thought they were going to go to a tertiary bomb site. Maybe they have a different lineup of operators for each of these different attacks. But they've been bringing the Maverick and the Ace a lot, alongside the Iana and the Thinker. So very much I think Flux is a flexible support, I guess. And in this case, I reckon, obviously with that gadget, instead of bringing the Buck, they're going to try and go for a full-on CCTV take once they manage to open up this wall. Maverick obviously being lit up by Eggy, and very well played there to actually catch him off guard by doing that. First time they've done that in this game, and it has paid off for them. So maybe Team Play are going to go find their way back into this round, back into this game, depending on what happens here. Frag grenades are heading out towards the Azami's position, and her gadget has fallen down. I don't know if the Jaeger ADS is still up. We'll see whether the 2 frag grenades that the Iana has in her inventory are actually going to be able to do anything, but they did lose 2 of the frag grenades that they had on the Maverick. So obviously running a very frag-heavy setup, understanding that the utility game's not necessarily going to be big at this level. See if Shanka does actually manage to find the kill here. Beautiful kill by Pew there through that little hole. very well played by him, and he's going to have control of Garage. Unfortunately, though, whilst he was trying to get rid of that Malusi barrier, Lex manages to find yet another kill, and Team Plague are going to find their way back into this round. A 3 versus 1 now. The Ace, the last remaining operator. He has 3 to find. 2 of them off-site. Eggy inside a bedroom. Lex underneath. Kane on the actual bomb site itself. We'll see if he can actually get in towards construction here. He needs to find 3 picks, and he can't just wait around forever. They do have diffuser inside of construction. We'll see if Ace can do anything in this round. He's going to look to different areas, and he's going to be contested by Kane. On this bedroom window, he's going to fall back, and he's going to try and go towards Garage. He's going to have to find it through kills. However, Lex on the flank, he's put a lot of shots towards him, and Kane is the one that actually finds the kill in the end. Very efficient play by Plague there, in terms of finding the kills that they needed and getting themselves back into this round and back into this game. A 2-4 split is not the absolute end of the world for Team Plague. It's more rounds than they got last time they were on this map, and we'll see whether the attack is actually going to go well for them, as MZP are going to bring a different lineup than Plague already shown within these 3 operators. Bringing the Echo. Now Echo's obviously been a lot weaker than he was at the peak of his strength, in terms of his drones not being invisible anymore, where they're being up on the roof, essentially forcing the IQ to be brought. To an extent, obviously, IQ does still have to be brought, because you can very much hide those Echo drones, but they do make a decent amount of noise, and they're nowhere near as strong as they used to be. You probably will be putting them inside of the server, alongside a bunch of other places, or 2 other places, if that is going to be the case. We see the ACS being brought out by the Azami here. Obviously a different choice of gun to what Shangle was bringing on T-Play's defensive side, but again, I think it's a fairly similar setup, bringing the Kaid as well. We'll see whether the Kaid does put both of his electro nodes onto electro claws, sorry, onto the CCTV wall, or whether he chooses to use them in Garage. Essentially turn Garage into a stronghold, but no, he's going to go this very nice underneath angle for the right side of the wall. We'll see what he does with the left side of the wall. He might just put it in the top corner of the roof, like usual. And yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. Up there, and he's going to get both sides of that CCTV wall. We'll see if that is something that Team Plague are looking to counter. And we see MZP are actually using this Echo drone very offensively. They might actually catch out one of the operators that is coming through here. Lex is actually outside, however. And yeah, he's jumping out of this hatch. That is very nice use of the Echo drone. However, he does lose it. So I can't say whether that is necessarily the greatest use of that utility. We'll see what happens though. Kitsarino does lose his life. In fact, a Pew who's playing very aggressively actually inside of Garage. I think MZP have got a very strong read on how to punish different defensives, or on how to punish different attacking lineups. We see Battles going through the floor, however, he does lose. Egg just managed to find that kill, and it goes to a 4 versus 4. Only a minute gone, and we've already seen an explosive round coming through. Frag grenades are still available, but he does not need them. He managed to find that kill into Garage. And it looks like the attack have got full control of that area. We hear the rip of a Nitro cell, but that does not go through as Flux loses his life yet again. A 4 versus 2. And Eggy, he's really showing his proficiency on this Finca LMG. And it's not looking good for MZP. They're losing countless members already throughout this round at different intervals. And we'll see whether Jaeger can actually get towards the bomb site or be able to contest some kind of a flank. Mute inside of construction now. He's trying to find any kind of angle or any kind of pick that he physically can. They know exactly where the Jaeger is right now. Some shots heading over towards this position. And there's only so much that they can realistically do. Eggy finds a quad kill now. There's one more for him to convert onto a pentakill. He does not manage to find that. It's down to a 3 versus 1. Jaeger's only got so much that he can do. He doesn't manage to find that kill on the bottom floor to find it into a 2 versus 1. The diffuser is going down now. And some shots do go through the floor there. Lex is going to be the one to try and find where the Jaeger is right now. He's inside of blue and he's been cut off here. Lex knows exactly where he is. He's going to look to try and find him. What does he know actually? He's not looking towards that area, but he doesn't manage to flick back towards it. And Lex manages to convert that round. A Plague have got themselves back into the game recently, finding some much needed kills. Right, we see a minute timeout coming out for Met Sport, obviously losing 3 rounds on the trot to a team that you beat 7-1 in your last bout. Does mean you're going to need some kind of decision. Do they try and go back to the original bomb site that they just did? Do they go back to CCTV? Or do they go towards a secondary or tertiary bomb site? Do they go towards the basement? And now, we saw obviously Plague were a little bit better at the basement on the defensive side. We'll see if that's just because they have a general better understanding of the site. Maybe they'll be able to attack it better. But it looked like they were very much able to get the picks on Metsport, winning their gunfights a lot more. It wasn't necessarily a strategic advantage or an operational advantage. It's very much that of gunfights. We'll see what they decide to do in the final 10 seconds of their timeout. Did they try and switch up the bomb site? Maybe it's an operational weakness that they need to look at in terms of how they're attacking that bomb site. And they're going to have to attack... Well, they're going to go towards Church now. They're going to bring the Valkyrie. Obviously, the Valkyrie is still on the board with the Thunderbird ban, alongside the Kaid. So that's why initially we were expecting a more defensive-sided bout than it has turned out to be, with obviously Plague only winning 2 rounds on their defensive side and Metsport not having won 1 yet. It was only the second round, though. Can't speak too soon of that. And we'll see what happens now in this round. I think that they're going to have a lot more information, obviously, with the Valkyrie, with those 3 cameras that she has available. And we're not going to see the Echo brought out this time instead. Obviously being changed away from. We'll see whereabouts these cameras are going to go. And there are 2 nitro cells available. Well, actually, no, there's only 1 nitro cell available in the hands of the Kaid, but some impact nades. The Valkyrie wants to be using them rather offensively onto operators, rather than to make her own holes if she's going to be on the roam. Looks like already she's going to be towards that bomb site, but I reckon, yeah, she's going to run up main stairs here, so it's going to be her on the roam. Those impact grenades are obviously going to be very impactful for her, alongside the army of Pew, who is likely also on the roam as well. So we'll see how this round plays out. Obviously the Jackal is going to be very useful for the side of Team Plague to be able to find out where all these roamers are. And already he's going to be looking towards Garage and towards the main door. I reckon it'll be a somewhat slower round the side of Team Plague, especially with all of them approaching from different sides of the map, trying to get as many cut-offs as possible, alongside the Maverick, who's going to go and open up the dirt wall. Obviously a very useful thing to do on any round, send someone late to lurk through there while you're executing. See Valkyrie inside a bar. A usual position, obviously, on a extended roam, if that is exactly what they're doing. Looks like they're definitely roaming. Whether that's an extended roam will be a different thing to see. Lex already goes down on that Jackal instantly. They're at a major disadvantage. The entire identity of the operator is to find out these roams. And now it's fallen down to one of the roamers. It's going to significantly weaken Plague's attacking side, and it could go from bad to worse if they do not find any of the defenders that might still be around the area. It looks like most have gone back towards the bomb site. Well, it looks like they're all on the bomb site, so they've already shelled up, they've already turtled up with half the round gone, but getting that pick onto the Jackal already will be very good for them. They obviously haven't taken away that hard breach, so it's not going to be incredibly impactful for them. But as we hear a Nitro go out, we're going to see if that actually does go through. They're going to look towards Kitchen at a very soon point. The sledge does get lit up through the floor. We'll see if that's down to those Valkyrie cams. It has to 100% be due to that. We'll see if the Nitro cell does also go off towards this sledge. If they find yet another pick, I don't see how Plague really get towards this bomb site. Got yet another cam on someone in the main area. They're going to try and spray towards him. And we'll see what happens in these final 45 seconds of the round. Goes down to 40 now, and we're going to see if they can actually get this kitchen hatch open. That's not the case, as Flux find yet another kill. And that was a player inside of main stairs. And there's only so much that these players can do inside of kitchen. Unfortunately, the Nitro Cell does not go off for the Kaid, but the attacker just so weak in this situation. There's no way they can actually get this hatch open, so they're going to send it down blue. We'll see if the defenders are aptly available to contest this. They're walking into a crossfire directly down to a 2 versus 5 already. And the 2 are now going through main stairs. 1 is taken down to a 1 versus 5. And Changa It's the last remaining player. He does manage to find a kill to remove it from a flawless round, but there's only so much he can do. Electric claws and other things flying towards his position. The army barrier, and he gets taken down by the Jaeger at the end of that round. Metsport, after that timeout, back on the board. And we'll see how they continue that momentum now to a 5-3 scoreline. And they're obviously ahead in this game. We've seen them be a lot more effective than they once were in earlier rounds.
Attackers need to locate and
right, we head into round 9, and we'll see if there's any big changes that Metsport really want to do to this defense, because he obviously did fall down in the time that they ran it, the first round of the defense. We're going to see a Vigil coming out already, so maybe they want to play this a bit more aggressively, and I think that might well be good for them. If they're confident in winning their gunfight to this point, I think it'll be very good for them. Obviously, Plague were very good in their rounds when they managed to catch Metsport off guard in terms of how they were approaching these different gunfights around the map. And if they can keep doing that, then they could still get themselves back into this game in terms of trying to even up the scoreline. We'll see if Metsport are truly going to be super aggressive. They've got nobody on the bomb site right now apart from a Jaeger, so that might exactly be the case. Obviously, the anchors are going to come back towards the bomb site when that time does go down further in the round. But I think a very good thing to do on this bomb site to an extent is to obviously play a little bit off of the bomb site and then fall back into these positions. You can very much do that on CCTV in terms of some areas of the first floor and some areas of the western side of the map. So it's not impossible for them to play super aggressively like that. But it does look like now we've seen them fill up these power positions in these anchoring spots, and they are actually going to be playing a bit more structuredly. And we'll see if that actually does go in their favour against Team Plague. It looks like they have actually put some priority onto this western side of the map. They've shot very close to the Kaid, who's currently contesting from construction. And Kaid have lost a lot of their health as Eggy is shooting further in towards the construction area, but Flux manages to win that gunfight. And the fact that Eggy is off the board, one of the key entries of Team Plague, might just spell disaster for this round. As in the last round that they managed to win for Metsport, they took away Lex. And if they take away either of those two operators alongside Shanga, then this round can just keep going from bad to worse for Plague. And obviously Plague want to find their way back into this game, but when you have someone like the Finger taken away, that drastically reduces your ability to win gunfights. Because obviously, whilst the boost is not necessarily the only thing you need to win a gunfight, there's obviously plenty of gunfights in Siege where you're not going to be having a Finger boost. But that small advantage is so impactful if you can truly utilise it well. See if Shanga can utilise this angle alongside Lex. They might be going very much for a construction side push. It doesn't look like they've put any priority over towards CCTV other than getting it open. It's good to have it open, obviously, to reduce the ability of the defenders to really play variety in that kind of area. And the fact that the flank has come out as well and the Nitro Cell kill just means that Plague are not having a fun time with this attack, and they're going to have to very much coordinate to try and find as many picks as possible in this final 40 seconds. We'll see if that happens. Metsport obviously playing very aggressively at this point, being in a 2v5 operational advantage. And it's going to be down to 2 full health attackers versus all these different defenders. Obviously, the health points of some of the defenders might make it a little bit more favourable for them. Lex is going to peek towards the CCTV window and see if you can find any kind of advantage for them. And 1 kill does go in the favour of the Sledge to a 2 versus 4. But the fact there's only 10 seconds left and they've got 4 kills to find, it's not particularly convincing if they want to try and get themselves back into the round. He jumps inside and he gets killed. Sledge the only one remaining, and he's just going to sit into construction and wait out the rest of this round. Defenders win round 9, and that's Metsport with yet another round on the board. 6 rounds, in fact. We'll see if they can close out this game in round 10 on Clubhouse. Last time, 7-1 victory, so obviously it has been a little bit harder for them to do that think Plague put up a very good fight in some of these rounds. I think in that particular round, the skill of Met Support, I guess I could say, and their understanding of the map has really elevated their advantage in terms of what's happening in this rank in this game. I think whilst what Plague have not necessarily got the same level of understanding as Met Support, I think Met Support understand when to go aggressive, when to go passive. They perfectly executed a flank there with the Vigil. They understood that once they manage to get that pick, then obviously there's one less person that's really going to be doing anything in terms of the flank watch as well. Obviously you can set a drone up there, but if that flank drone is not being watched for any kind of time, any period of time, the Vigil can get his way up there. We'll see what Met Support decide to do now. They have actually gone for the gym bomb site, and they're going to extend horizontally to the east side of the map into CCTV and cache. Very typical for teams to do that. We have seen some vertical defences at some points in CG Sports, but it's not particularly popular, and that is for a very good reason. It's very hard to open up this floor and to have any real influence over the bedroom site, especially as these vertical angles, yeah, they cover each of the different entry points, but as soon as you leave those entry points, then it's very difficult for the vertical to really do anything. It's very impactful over gym, so you'll normally see a lot of teams open up the gym hatch, open up the areas underneath the window, and also the default plant over the other side of the gym near the door. Very interesting by the Echo again. I think this is very much playstyle that Met Support want to go for. And the drone has spotted the Echo drone, very much a chase going on here. As the Echo drone does look to get back towards safety. Obviously the Echo drone is going to be very useful in the late round, so whilst you do want to get this intel of where the attackers are actually approaching the bomb site from, you can't really chuck them away the same way you would a normal drone. And Kane's looking out around the strip area to see what that drone is actually doing. We're going to see the gym wall. Sorry, the balcony wall being opened up, and we're going to just watch the Echo drone gain its intelligence by jumping out of that area. There is somebody inside the dirt, actually. And Shanka is looking towards that position. Someone else does go down on the actual bomb site itself. It's down to 5 versus 4. So maybe Plague can get back into this round on match point. Half the round is gone, but they have not actually managed to open this wall up yet. And that's something they want to do sooner rather than later. They have actually managed to get it done now. With that Maverick, and with just a minute remaining. See how the attackers will approach this. Looks like they haven't necessarily got all the protons that they would want around the bomb site to be able to execute something fully, and this Echo drone inside of Jim is going to prove very useful late round if he's allowed to stay on inside of the bathroom. If they start truly pressuring it, then he's obviously not going to be able to do that. The UMP of the castle actually finding something. He was the one inside of dirt, and he managed to take away that sledge that was on the balcony. Obviously Ace is still there, and he's going to be providing something for them, but yet another pick comes through on all these different areas, and it looks like Met Support just have a better map knowledge. They know where to play to catch each of these attackers off guard. That castle barricade piecing very useful to keep you out of jib, but Lex is actually inside of the bomb site right now. If you can find any kind of pick, then this could be very useful. But he loses that gunfight. It's a 2 versus 4 now. With 20 seconds remaining, Chango is going to file right into that position inside the bathroom. And it looks like Met Support just playing off of the bomb site itself. He pulls out the frag grenade yet again. Does he actually find anything with it? He throws it towards construction, and it doesn't go off. However, he does not find anything with it. A 1 versus 4, a 0 versus 4. The defenders win, and they win that game. Met Support yet again winning against the side of Plague. Not 7-1 this time. A little bit of a closer bout. But that was a very good game to see for Met Support. And they have won that game on Clubhouse in this playday of the Stylex Siege League. I just want to thank you very much for watching this game. We're going to have some more games going on Thursday. And we'll see whether obviously people check in for those games and enjoy playing them. But that has been me for now from the Stylex Siege League. Thank you very much for watching.